All right, here we go. We are back for our afternoon of meeting more impactful presenters, educators, leaders, thought leaders in this space, and all revolving around this amazing event we're at FETC. The last episode you saw before our little lunch break, the band was going by. Everybody's just excited to be here, learn from these presenters, and I'm going to bring one in all the way from Massachusetts, just like where I'm from. Bonnie Nieves. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm holding it together. It's pretty busy around here.
It is busy around here, and you've been busy.
Yeah. I haven't been incredibly busy. Tomorrow's my busy day.
Yeah, but just getting ready, you don't just show up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. You got to prepare for being in this giant space with so many people and everyone's so excited. And yeah, just, you're right, packing, unpacking, walking around. It's hard. It's hard.
It is, and just talking all the time and meeting with people, and because it's a pure excitement and just people want to talk and connect, but you do it all day long, and it's like I need a break.
Yes, and then you see someone that you recognize, like someone I recognize just walked by, and you feel a little guilty for not saying hello, but you have to realize everyone's kind of overstimulated, so like maybe just a little bit of a break is nice.
Absolutely. So for those who don't know your work, or you share a little bit about your journey in education.
Ooh, all right. So I am a high school science teacher in Massachusetts. I've been doing that for maybe 18 years. I'm really bad with numbers, so something like that. And I started up a professional development and consulting company. So now I do professional development for science teachers in, it's national, but mostly in Massachusetts. Oh, and I wrote a book.
Yes, and we're going to dive into all of that. And where you didn't just start by starting up your consulting business or writing a book. What was your journey?
I started out going to college to be a nurse.
Okay.
And when I started doing the practical for that, I was amazed by how difficult the job was, like how much harder than I expected it to be, dealing with people who are hurt, physically hurt, emotionally hurt, and just stressed out. So I decided, you see where this is going. So I decided that probably wasn't the job for me, because at the time when I was like in my 20s, I didn't know I'd be able to support people like that. And so I eventually became a teacher.
Right. Insert joke. Right.
It's true. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing a lot of different courses. I worked in hospice actually for a while, which is one of the things that doesn't typically come up in conversation, but that was a really rewarding and it's a rewarding job that taught me a lot about human interactions, actually.
Okay. So you talked about tomorrow's your day for your session, and you're going to meet the author show in minutes. So increasing student engagement, decrease teacher workload. So for those looking through and like, all right, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, I'm going to head up to room R8. What are they going to be a part of?
So tomorrow in this presentation, what I do is I talk about the importance of increasing engagement by building a sense of community in the classroom and avoiding the amygdala hijack that people talk about, where you want to have a culturally responsive classroom where students know that they're safe and they're comfortable to take risks. And the actually easiest way to do that is just to build effective routines. And that's wonderful for teachers, because that means you can do the same type of thing repetitively, as long as it's a little bit different. Every day you want to shake it up a little bit, but have the same type of activities for your beginnings, middles, and ends. And that's what you'll leave with when you come, is a plan for your beginnings, middles, and ends of your unit, your day, your semester. So no matter where you are, everyone knows what to do. And you already have these scaffolds in place, so you can just substitute content or any other differentiation you need into the scaffold that we will actually be able to build or start typically it's a 2 hour workshop, so you'd be able to start it in 45 minutes.
So,
So
hearing that, reading the session description, it's building these routines that build consistency. And why is that important in education?
For students, it's important because kids need to know what to expect. I imagine it's even more pronounced at the elementary level, but in the high school levels, I see it all the time. And the thing that got me really interested in it is kids going from 5 classes throughout the day, and every teacher has a different routine. So imagine if every one of those 5 teachers did things differently every day, it would be like hundreds of new things to learn in a week on top of the content. So the more consistent we can keep things, the better. And when kids walk in, you can see the sigh of relief when they know what to do. They can see the agendas on the board and they know that it's Wednesday and they know what they do on Wednesday. And it's just like a sigh of relief. They can settle in and start getting to work. It limits the behavior disruptions and it increases the students' engagement because they have that lower cognitive load in figuring out what to do. And it eventually increases their participation and their success.
wow, and I think
Wow. And I think as
all
we
of
do all of this, it sets students up for success. And I think that's a lot of what you do
and
in
you spoke about your book. So
your
I'm gonna
book.
just
So
pull
I'm
this
going to
up
just
right
pull
here.
this up right here.
Be
Be
awesome on
awesome on
purpose. So
purpose. So
having
having
these
these
schedules,
schedules,
having
having
this
this
information
information
is
is critical.
So tell us a
So
little
tell
about
us a little bit about the book.
The book is about my story of becoming a teacher and how at first I wasn't on board with becoming a teacher, and everyone I had, every guidance counselor, every career counselor, every boss I had told me you should be a teacher because you're really good at explaining things. And
Okay.
finally, I took someone's word for it. And I went and became a substitute teacher, and turned out I loved it. So I stayed. And I made a deal with myself that I wasn't going to be the teacher that fell into the job because there's awesome breaks and snow days and all of these things. Because when I was a kid going through school, those are the teachers I felt like I had. So whether they actually were that way or not, that's how I felt as a student. And I always want to make sure my students know that I'm there because I love the job every day. And it turns out it's a lot easier than you would think to because kids want to buy into it. They want to feel comfortable. So the it's the book is about the process that I learned about engaging kids without having to give them grades, with giving them the maximum amount of freedom, and having conversations with kids and treating them like humans instead of the bodies that must be taught, right?
and I think that's
And I
important
think
because
that's important because I did a lot of
BC
work
around
with BC around
teachers and how to
teachers
impact
and
their
how to
day, and
impact
a
their
lot of things
day,
they
and a
talk
lot of things
about
they talk
is
about
wanting
is
to
about
feel
wanting
valued.
to feel valued.
What I'm hearing you
What
say
I'm
about the
hearing you
book is
say
how
about the
to
book
be
is
that
how to
teacher
be
to make
that teacher to
students
make
feel
students
valued.
feel valued.
And
And,
how are you
and how
doing
are
that?
you doing that?
So the way I do it is through not reducing their accomplishments to letter or number grades and providing feedback and empowering the kids to teach one another and to teach students outside of their classroom and helping them to see that what they're learning actually has value outside of the reinforcement of the grades that they get.
So
So
be awesome
be
on
awesome on
purpose. You can
purpose. You
pick
can
it
pick
up
it up
at
at
on
on
Amazon.
Amazon. I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
put books.
sorry, I'm going to
So
put the website down here
sorry,
because
I'm
I want to talk
to
about
talk
that as
about
well.
that as
Because
well because
talk about the
talk
work that
about the
you're
work
doing
that you're doing
outside of
outside of
your
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 classroom
classroom
jobs and the
jobs
work
and the
that
work that
you're
you're
empowering other
empowering other
people to be
people to be
awesome on
awesome on
purpose and
Oh,
educate
yes.
on purpose.
educate on purpose.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. Once the book came out, I was talking to a mentor of mine, and he said that it looks like this could be something bigger than it is. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And we tossed around this idea of educate on purpose. and because it can cover everything: engagement, science, civics, ELA, math, it doesn't matter. So what I decided to do after a lot of contemplation and trial and error is to start a consulting company where I can do mainly science, because the next generation science standards, although they've been out for, I mean, since 2016, there are a lot of teachers who are still uncomfortable with changing the way they teach. And that's something that I just intrinsically do. So I have online courses and in-person PD to help science teachers, in particularly, use formative assessment to shape instruction and use phenomena-driven instruction, which lends itself so beautifully to project-based learning. And it also helps to improve equity, because when you're starting with a phenomenon, right, so an observable event, you can choose something that's local to you and something that every kid has experience with, instead of choosing just whatever random thing is found in the textbook, which may be in the desert, right? Typically, when we're talking about biomes and things in science, we'll use some odd biome that's really interesting. But if it's me, I've never been to a desert. I have no way to relate to that, so it's harder for me to learn, which again increases that cognitive load that I have. So anytime you can decrease cognitive load, you increase engagement almost automatically. So it's sort of like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So check out the website. It is scrolling down below. See all the great things that Bonnie's offering to schools, to districts, to teachers. It's just phenomenal. With the courses that you talked about,
it's a place you
place
can
you
buy
could
the
buy
book
the
on
book
there.
on there.
And if you're here at
FTC
tomorrow,
uh,
I don't know why it's not pulling up, but up there it is.
Why it's
There's a
not
little
up there. It
delay
is.
here. I think
There's a
everyone's
little
on the
delay here.
internet or whatever.
Everyone's on
So
the internet or
tomorrow,
whatever. So
make sure
tomorrow,
to check her out.
make sure to check
12:30 in
her
the
out.
vendor hall. You
12:30
can
in the
pick up a
vendor
copy
hall.
of
You
the
can
book,
pick up a copy
have
of
a
the
chance to meet Bonnie,
chance to meet Bonnie,
get it signed. It'd be a great day. So
So
I can't let
I
you out
can't
of here
let you
without
out of here without
asking
asking
you
you
the question I ask all the
all the
guests.
guests.
What does
What
stronger
does stronger
together mean
together
to you?
mean to you?
That's I could talk about that for a long time, because it's, for me, it started with Twitter, when I accidentally went on Twitter. But I honestly, when I first went on Twitter, I only did it to talk to John Mayer. That was
Any
the
luck?
only reason. No, none. But it was like me and him on Twitter at the time. It was a long time ago. And he still didn't talk to me, even though there was just us.
What?
Who knew? But but anyway, what happened is, and I'm sure a lot of other people who are on Twitter have experienced this, you end up finding the people, or being drawn to the people who are like you, and you can drown out the noise. And the more time you spend with people, the more time you become, I mean, oh boy, you become stronger together by spending more time with each other and reinforcing one another's ideas, and also offering creative criticism and not allowing people to make bad decisions, or helping them make better decisions. So, yeah, it actually means everything, to be honest. If it wasn't for being stronger together, I wouldn't be at a conference. I wouldn't have written a book, and I sure as heck would not have started a consulting company.
Well, there you have it. That
Well, there you have it. That was
It
awesome.
Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to
You
you.
hear all the
You
great
hear
things
all
you're
the
doing.
great
As
things
you
you're doing.
said, pick up a copy of the book.
Get a
chance to
get a
meet
chance to meet
Bonnie tomorrow,
Bonnie tomorrow,
and
and attend
her session
her session
tomorrow
in the afternoon as well.
So I hope
So
you
I
have
hope
a
you have
great rest of the event here, and just take it all in. It's big.
It's huge, and I love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, and have a great rest of the couple days.
Thank you.